And ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's a little different today. I'm gonna tell you right now. You got myself, Michael Dean, Mr. Seeley. Sir, how are you?
I'm good, brother. Top of the morning to you. How you doing?
Yes, man, I'm feeling good. Let me go full screen here for a quick second. Ladies and gentlemen in the chat, welcome. Good morning. Get your tea, get something, or get your coffee, whatever it is. For me, it's early in the morning. For you, it might be in the afternoon. But nonetheless, we are here gathered today again on our Saturday for What Did Prince Do This Week? Brother Seeley, sir, how you doing?
You know what this is? This is what would have happened if Morris and Jesse would have took over the MPG radio. So right now, Morris and Jesse are taking over MPG radio.
And with that said, we got to get into some music for a second. Hold tight. Hold on. Let's just vibe to this real quick. It's an oldie but goodie. And while we do that, we're gonna say good morning. Sound all right?
It's a little low. There you go. It's a little bit low.
All right. I'm gonna take it down low if it's low, but we just want to say good morning. We're gonna start from the early first. What up, Theo? JD Washington, Sandra, what's going on with you? Tanja, all through the night. What's up, family? Man Ray, Andrea, how you doing? Good morning. Yeah. I'm starting to feel it a little bit.
There you go.
Yes. Good morning. So good morning, everyone. I saw St. Paul and the MPLS Funk All Stars, Dr. Fink, Jelly Bean last night at Dakota, and it was an amazing concert. Ooh, I bet it was.
I hope they recorded that.
Yes, and salute to St. Paul doing his thing as always.
And you know that
go ahead.
that Dr. Fink interview, I think, is on Funkatopia.
Yes.
It was good, and they were joking, but they actually covered some ground that Dr. Fink had never discussed. Like he talked about the time he worked with Diddy, and I'm just gonna leave that there. So
okay, I got to go check that out.
Yeah, so just the thought of Dr. Fink,
Lord,
in the studio area with Diddy, I was just like, oh, okay.
Lord, okay. What's up, Reginald? Ronald, excuse me. What up? Monk Power. I don't know if I've seen your name before, but welcome. Of course, Purple Cat Confetti. Man, so we're gonna get going. Now, that was just me. I needed to play that real quick to sort of get myself into it. But Deanna said, you better play this song when you start it off in the morning. So let me make sure mommy does not come at me with a belt when she comes back.
And then they tried to take advantage of her.
Baby doll house.
All day.
Congrats, Troy.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, positivity. That's what we need. All day, every day. All right. So let's just get things started. What did Prince do this week? Week 11, 1985. And we're here every Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern. Was it 9 on the West Coast? Man, everyone's giving. I gotta check this out. Everyone's giving some good love to Funkatopia. Salute. And of course, we're doing a slow read of Duane Tudahl's Prince Studio Sessions book series. through an interactive weekly online book club and Saturday salon, echoing the spirit of the Harlem Renaissance. Ooh. Oh, what did Prince do this week? We're going week to week, Sunday to Saturday of 1985. No date to date. Turn it down a little bit. And what did Prince do this week? You can follow the detailed schedule, the QR code down below. Get clicked in, please. And of course, you don't need the paperback, but I got the hard copy. I can't remember which one you have. The hard copy?
I got the paperback.
You got the paperback. You got the updated edition.
I got the NIV.
There you go. I got that old school V, whatever that is.
Got that original Hebrew text.
There you go. I got the scriptures.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
I got the Sacred Scrolls edition.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Straight from Duane. Handwritten, of course. What did Prince do? Yes, these will be archived on YouTube /@PolishSolid and of course youtube.com/mdean. Please subscribe, like, and help spread the word. All right. I lost my place. There we go. All right. And what did Prince do this week? Of course, we got our own hashtag WDPDTW. And then, of course, the email. And if you saw the Purple Rain tour, we want you to share your story with us. Let us know. Get in contact with us. We would love to have you come on the show and share your experience. That is one of the joys, at least for me, of doing this show, is we get to hear from the people.
Yeah.
Hear what you guys got to see. And I love it. Was it last week? Right? Big Sexy
and Brother Turnbull.
Yeah, man, that was great. That was some good stuff. It makes you feel like you're actually really there at the concert. You know what I'm saying? And kind of seeing it from somebody else's perspective. Go ahead.
And you know what's cool for me is I kind of grew up, and even going into adulthood, I always wondered like what people my same age was doing at the same time. Because like I grew up in Mississippi, so I grew up in the Mississippi Delta, and I would wonder like, okay, I'm 14 in 1984. What were other 14 years old doing in Seattle, Washington, and New York? And so having people come on, tell their stories, it really fulfills for me like, hey, what was it like me thinking about what were other purple people doing? Because remember, we didn't have internet. So because we didn't have internet, we really didn't know how other people were experiencing Prince across the way in real time. So I'm with you. I really love having people come on and tell their stories, because you really can get connected again in a way that you couldn't be connected when we were young, trying to find our way.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because like yesterday, I say Thursday or Friday, I started listening to a parade show, and I just was like remembering back at that time, like when it was happening, I had no idea necessarily what was happening. Then when I started to see some of the magazine pictures and articles, I was like, wait, this is Prince? First of all, I was just so like taken aback by visually, he seems so different. And I was like, that's Prince. It's like, wow, like what is in trying to like decipher like what is going on in these pictures? Like, okay, his hair is cut and Jerome is up there, or like what? It's just like you didn't really know everything that was going on. A lot of the stuff just happened in your brain to try and figure out what it was, and then to actually start to finally see clips and things. And I say all that to say, kind of like what you're saying now, to go back and look at it from a different lens, and then to hear other people who got to experience this stuff. It's just like, God, okay. And maybe, I think that's how it's going to live on, is, through fans talking about what you remember or what your first time experiencing. Like, wow, I'm just seeing this now, 30 years later, checking it out. So it's just, it's a fascinating thing. All right, let's get back into the show. Iron clips here. All right, so bear with me. My mouse is all over the place. All right, so what did Prince do this week? Next week, March 1985. I can't really see that. So He's got a couple of shows in Uniondale on the 17th and 18th, the 19th, nothing. Back to Uniondale on the 20th, and then back again on the 22nd and 23rd. It's very interesting. And of course, the Prince estate, the estate of Prince Rogers Nelson, is not affiliated, associated, or connected with What Did Prince Do This Week book club series, nor has it endorsed or sponsored the What Did Prince Do This Week book club series. Further, the estate of Prince Rogers Nelson has not licensed any of its intellectual properties to the producers, advertisers, where the advertisers at? But anyway, advertisers or directors of What Did Prince Do This Week book club series.
What that mean is the estate is not responsible for anything crazy, I might say. Let's just put it out there like that.
Exactly. They ain't got shit to do with
it. There you go.
All right. All right. And the guidelines, of course, we choose to be a community, even when we disagree. In other words, act like you got some sense in the chat.
There you go.
That's it.
That's all.
That's it. All righty. And you heard us play 11. Madhouse. 16 was the album. 11 was the song. You know, I had a thought one day, and this would be a bad thing and a good thing, but one day some of these shows are going to get dinged because they will have finally released Madhouse, and then they'll be like, oh, they've got all that copyrighted music on this podcast. We got to, but hey, at least the music will have been released if that happens.
There you go.
All right. Let's see here. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of things. But before I do, I want to throw a question to the chat. It's not necessarily related to the topic of hand. It is a Prince thing, but I would just love to give you something to think about. And I'm going to probably do a video on this later, but I would love to hear or see your top 5 Prince protege / spinoff albums. Just want to see what you guys, what's going on in your mind. Go ahead.
You know what? That question so connects with one of the commentaries I put in the newsletter this week.
Oh, really?
Because I did a list, and based on how you score on that list, it will determine if you are a Prince fan or a Purple Rain fan.
Interesting.
And one of the elements in that list has to do with associated artists. So for those of you, if you haven't looked at your newsletter, if you don't got my newsletter, I sent out, and then basically you have to score 10 or 15. If you score 10 or 15, you're a Prince fan. If you score less than 10, you just a Purple Rain fan. But at the end, there's a little paragraph at the end that I explain why I'm doing it, and it's not to call people out, but just kind of make people cognizant of it. But the fact that you talk about the associated artists and the proteges leads right into that. So check that out and see how you score on it, and see how you come up.
So you said there's Prince fans versus Purple Rain fans.
Yeah, that what I found is, and it really came out of, as you and I, and you probably get this too, the work we do, we'll be approached by people who will say, man, I'm a Prince fan.
Right.
And it doesn't take but about 3 to 5 minutes to realize, like, oh, you can only talk about Purple Rain. And that's not a bad thing. It's just that getting people to understand that, depending on how you count, Prince produced 47 albums, right? If you count his albums, social art, right? 47 albums. And I just think that it's interesting that for a man who produced 47 albums, we always return to one album.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that, and I always think about Angela Davis. And Angela Davis said something once. Angela Davis said that she always hoped that who she was and who she did and what she did doesn't get reduced to a picture of her in an afro on a t-shirt.
Mm.
That's why I do it. I always think about the people who wear those Angela Davis t-shirts, right? With that big bold afro.
Yeah.
Is that all they know about Angela Davis was she was a black woman with an afro in the 60s?
Iconic pictures. Well, that's interesting. I get exactly what you're saying. And I can obviously, come across people that view Prince through the lens of Purple Rain exclusively. But I'm trying to think, are there things that I like that I only do that with?
Well, I actually, at the end, I list 5 Miles Davis albums. And I said, I list 5 Miles. Let me see if I can remember them right off the top of my head. On the Block, Sketches of Spain, Bitches Brew. What are the other two? Because they're my favorite albums. They're Bitches Brew, Sketches of Spain, On the Block. Damn, I can't remember the other two. But I only listen to and love 5 Miles Davis albums. I can't call myself a Miles Davis fan when I know this man. You see what I'm saying? So I love 5 Miles Davis albums. I ride for those Miles Davis albums. I love his autobiography, but I'm not a Miles Davis fan because I really only know a portion of his catalog. So I'm not gonna walk up to, let's say you are a Miles Davis scholar. I'm not gonna approach you like I'm a Prince. I'm sorry, Sister Ken, we're gonna move along. But with the few Miles Davis albums that I know, I'm not gonna walk around telling everybody I'm a Miles Davis scholar. That's how I couched it.
That I can understand. I guess like, well, yeah, I wouldn't define myself. Like, I'm gonna say this, like Lauryn Hill, for instance. Technically, she has 2 albums, I believe, right? The Miseducation and then the Unplugged. I have Lauryn Hill on my wall in my living room, like immortalized. And I don't even see it when I walk in. It's just a subconscious thing that I know Lauren's in my house. It's just, I don't even think about it. Other stuff. But in my mind, I just associate her with that era of Miseducation.
Exactly.
Though I know the Fugees before all that, and she's still doing stuff to this day. Fantastic. But I don't know. I still am a fan of hers, but I wouldn't sit here and try to tell you like I know her life story, but it lives in my heart. Like I love, you know what I mean? It means so much to me, and I only really listen to that one sort of thing. So it's interesting to think about Prince in that context.
And I do make it clear that it's not a bad thing to be a Purple Rain fan. That's the other. I think that people get in their feelings that, I'm just a Purple Rain. No. If you are just a Purple Rain fan, there's nothing wrong with saying I love this album. But it's always interesting hearing people talk about it, and they can only talk. I think that when they talk about it through the lens of that's all they know, we always tend to get a limited perspective. But that's not to say that if you say that Purple Rain is your favorite album and that's the only album you know, or you say that, hey, you came in through that, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I just wanted to give people something to think about. And for people to ask, if you go to Substacks and Google psychedelic literature, because my newsletter is now on Substack. So if you go to Substacks and Google psychedelic literature, that's the latest. That's the what day is it? That's the March 14th newsletter. All right, let's shut up and get back to the list.
Okay. You're good. All right. Just a little deviation there.
There you
Don't
go.
hurt nobody. All right. So we had 3 live shows this week, 1 studio session. And again, this is this week's one, Long Beach, back in Long Beach. And then on the 13th, we back in the studio. So we're gonna get to that. All right. So Sunday, March 10th, Long Beach. And sir, would you mind doing the honors?
Yes, sir. I sure will.
All right.
So Sunday, March 10th, 1985, venue, Long Beach Arena, Long Beach, California. I never knew anything about Long Beach till that song came out. With it comes in Long Beach, I never thought about Long Beach.
Same here.
which is sad since I'm not a hip hop person. I'm like, where's Long Beach at? All right, okay, let's move on. Capacity 13,574. Attendance unknown. It is a testament to how popular Prince was that he was able to fill another arena in the Los Angeles area for 3 consecutive nights, just 2 weeks after sold-out series of 6 shows. Michael Jackson supposedly snuck in to watch the show. He had seen Prince on his previous tour, and the two of them maintained a mutual respect. Prince had been in the audience for 2 of the Jackson Show's Victory Tour that previous year. The sound check for this concert included Prince teaching the band Sister Fate, but it is unclear if it was ever actually performed in concert.
Wow. I like the way it started, since the testament of his popularity. And he's actually able to do 3 sold out shows right after doing LA. That's crazy. And I love the Michael Jackson appearance. I'm very curious did the audience know Mike was there, or was it just like he was in the back or something? I'm very curious.
It sounded like he sneaked in, although from the country we say snuck in. I'm with you, Sister Tanya. The Victory Tour was insane. However, I think Triumph was a better tour. Victory was insane. I got to see Victory, but I think Triumph was I think musically, vocally, I always liked that 81 tour over the 84 tour. But I love Kat. I think Kat told you that story. Was it you? She told the story about when they went to the Victory. I loved it. And I'll tell you why I love that story. I'll tell you why I love that story. Because and I'll tell the story if people haven't heard it. If you haven't watched that Kat interview with Brother Dean, that's a wonderful, man. You do a wonderful job with all your interviews, but that's a wonderful. But I love the story she told because what you knew, whether or not either one of them would admit it, they had a little brother, big brother relationship. And when I tell the story, you remember the story, the reason I say this is because the little brother can always get ready with saying some slick stuff to the big brother. Because the big brother gonna you still look like and right. So remember Kat said that Mike, because they had the Love Sexy stuff on. And Kat said, Mike was like, hey man, I like that. Could you make me one? And the Love Sexy stuff had 88 on it, Love Sexy. And Prince said to Mike, yeah, I'm gonna make you one. But I'm gonna put 1984 on it because that's the last time you had a hit. And it's like only the little brother can say that to the because I can picture, like I said, I can just picture Mike just smirking like, I play because it's absurd to even say
jokes,
you ain't had a hit.
Jokes.
Right, exactly. So that's what I really love about that story is regardless of what many of us may think or want to think, I think they really had a little brother, big brother. I'm not saying it couldn't be, difficult at times. But I just really think that they rock with each other in ways that I don't think people really understood.
You're probably right. And that's one of my things that I feel like a cultural miss. I can make up a term. And you can always go back and man, I wish Prince would have did this. I wish, the Parade tour hit the States or Sign of Times tour, made the States. But I really wish for both of these cats, even if they didn't do no music necessarily, that they was somehow united on something that they produced something together, just for the power of what they mean to the culture, would have been incredible.
Yeah.
But I'm glad behind the scenes they had some sort of camaraderie or whatever. But how powerful would that have been? We would still be talking. I mean, as much as we're talking about it today, and they don't have anything project together. As much as we talk about these cats, way many years later today, imagine what the impact would have been if they just came on the stage.
Yep.
Something we've been like, God damn. So, but yeah, I mean, that's just one of those things I wish could have happened.
I will tell you in real time. Because we all know about Prince turning down bad. But right. in real time, the only time I was really mad is when State of Shock came out. And a lot of people don't know that actually Freddie Mercury was the first choice for State of Shock. I always thought that should have been. Yes, online. You can find it. So if you haven't heard the Freddie Mercury version of State of Shock, you can check it online. I always thought in real time that should have been Prince. To have Prince and Mike on State of Shock, and I ain't knocking Mick. I want to be clear because I love State of Shock, by the way. I think State of Shock goes hard today.
I don't understand why people don't like it, but
and it's one of them songs to me that it still should be like in rotation. Especially that breakdown when Mike breaks down. Oh man, come on with that. Yeah. So, but I always thought in real time, man, like you say, that would have been that culture moment. had Prince been on State of Shop. Anyway,
that would have been interesting. So do you think there was any remote chance there's something deep in the vaults that may have been worked on together, just hasn't ever seen or been? I mean, anything's possible, I suppose.
We can only hope.
Yeah, I mean, and I would imagine if they knew that something like that was, they would be already had heard it, I'm sure. So maybe they might find something.
That'd have been the first money grab.
Yeah,
Prince and Mike.
Like, hey, we got another raincoat product. Well, no. We're gonna do this one. Yeah, we probably would have got that, but yeah, that would be the ultimate head buster if something like that is found. I will say that. And I want it to be real, not an AI
right.
take on it. But anyway, let's get back. I know Kim was like, so we did Long Beach. Go back here. Oh, and so here's the ticket stub. Again, you gotta love that $17.50 price. Like, because what they charging today, boy, you're gonna have to you gotta take a loan out for them tickets. $1,000, $2,000.
I spent my whole, because my mom would give me my lunch money at the beginning of the year to try to teach me how to manage money, and I always would spend it on records and books. So, but I spent my whole lunch money when I got my 2 Purple Rain tickets before my mama tore them up. I spent my whole lunch money tickets because it was like 20 something days in that week, 28 days, 24, 25 days in that week. I had that money plus a little. That's how I bought my 2 Purple Rain tickets with my lunch money that my mama turned into confetti.
Wow. I can't even remember if I bought the tickets myself, and I didn't have a concept of money at that age just yet, but I guess I was working. I don't know. Let's see here, my mouse. All right, so this is
for just in case y'all think we not noticing, we are noticing. Yeah, keep putting them proteges in the chat.
Oh, absolutely.
They looking good. They looking good.
We might cycle back. So here's a great picture from Long Beach performance. Prince and his superhero thing. Is there something like? Is that a curl coming down on his face?
I think that's the end of the guitar coupled with his hair.
Oh yes, okay.
Yeah,
got it. Love it. All right. And this is March 11, Long Beach. Prince and the Revolution at the Long Beach Arena. Special guest Sheila E. Wear something purple. All right.
So since before you get that, since you're showing the tickets, my question to you in the chat: does anybody still do paper tickets, or is it all on our phone now?
Oh.
So for anybody in the chat, is anybody still doing paper tickets? Or are they all on the phone? Now, the only thing I really go through regularly, I go to a lot of Jackson State sporting events. And so all of my Jackson State sporting events, all my tickets are on my phone and my wallet. So, but what about you? Do you do paper or you do your wallet? Your phone?
You know, it's funny you asked that. The only tickets that I would come across at this point would be movie tickets.
Right.
And that's all digital. So
yeah,
I can imagine. I think the last concert. That's interesting. Put in the chat. Some of y'all went last week or last night. What was the last concert you went to?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. What was the last concert I went to?
Oh, that's a good one.
Shit. The last concert of note from my mind that I went to was like Raphael Sadiq. But God, that was before COVID. So that's a little far back.
And you know what?
I know I've seen some
difficult for me is concert versus going to see a local band play.
It's still a concert.
Okay, because we still got a few local bands in Mississippi that still, you can go. We got what's called the Monday Night Blues Workshop, where all the blues folks get together that ain't touring, because they tour on the weekend. They gig on the weekend around the country. But then Monday night at this spot, all the blues acts, they're still gigging. They get together on Monday night and play together. So I go check them out from time to time.
Okay. LTX Ticketmaster does them, but they mail them, and it takes so long that you're better off going digital. Okay. And the latest tickets to events gone to have. Yeah, I think most of it is pretty much all digital at this point. Well, that really, I mean, it dates us, but it harkens back to another time when it was all paper.
There you go.
You had to have that. You know, that at the least, if you didn't go pick it up at the box office, you could do the mail, but then you kind of if it could get lost in the mail. So I would always just say, man, I'm gonna pick it up at the wheel call.
The wheel call. There you go.
The wheel call.
It
Make
took
it
me
look like
it-
I'm
it-
front, like my name is on the list. Like, nigga, I paid.
They know me up in here.
Yeah, they know me. Hold on, I got this. Michael D. So I don't see. My car didn't go through. Oh, hold on, baby girl.
Sit down. I told you he's gonna get good seats.
Yeah, I got this. We're like, more keep the change.
All right, give him a change, would you?
Yeah, get my change. All right. So man, we got some reading to do here, and boy, I'm gonna have to zoom in here so I can see this. Shoot. Hold on. Let me see. How can I do this? Oh, you know what? My bad. 1 second. I got it here.
There you go.
All right. And give me 1 second here. All right. Now I can see. Let me jump back. Okay. So here we go. This is a student newspaper, The Roundup, art and entertainment section by John Thorne. It says early last Thursday morning, 12 semi-trailer tractors arrived at the Pan American Memorial Stadium parking lot. Soon after, a crew consisting largely of New Mexico State University students began unloading the tons of stage light and sound equipment to be assembled on the floor of the stadium. After hours of hard work, the stage was set up and Las Cruz was ready to host what was already being called the concert event of the year. Prince and the Revolution were here to play 2 shows along with special guest Sheila E. I attended the Friday night show, and due to some difficulty in obtaining tickets, some of us just can't afford to pay $17.50 for any concert. Let me just read that one more time.
Yeah.
Some of us just can't afford to pay $17.50 for any concert. Damn. So $17.50 was some money back then.
And you know what? I'm glad that's in there, because me talking about I pay for my tickets with my lunch money, it really does make you realize how blessed you really are sometimes. Because here goes some. Because for me to think, like, I'm thinking about this. I'm a black child in Mississippi, one of the most racist states with some of the worst oppression. Yet I'm more privileged to be able to use my lunch money to buy my tickets to where somebody else all the way across the country can't even scrape that up. And that something like that really makes me think about how blessed we are sometimes, and we don't even know that we blessed. Anyway, that just made me think about that when you said that.
Absolutely. All right. It says, I unfortunately missed most of Sheila E.'s performance. What I saw of her show was excellent. She is one of the best percussionists working today and showed it with numerous solos and dazzling stick work in every song. Her band, which included 2 other drummers, as well as her, were tight and played with energy to spare. She closed the show with an extended version of her hit, The Glamorous Life, tied together with an instrumental piece consisting mainly of drum breaks by Sheila using her lighted glass sticks, which lighted up the stage with color flashes ranging the spectrum. She has come a long way since I saw her as a young percussionist working with George Benson. Ooh, so he'd been following her for a minute. I love it. And then this last part here. So was it a good concert? My answer is that for Prince fans, it was a worthwhile extravaganza. While he was playing, Prince showed himself to be a talented musician and showman. The problem was that he did not do much playing. The show, when all was over and done, had only contained about 90 minutes worth of music, including the encores. Come on, Prince. $17.50 for less than 2 hours of music? I would have expected more from a man who is reputed as being a great performer. I have only paid more than $15 for 2 concerts in my life. And both of them lasted 3 hours before the band started doing encores. Prince, however, treated the crowd to only 1 hour and 5 minutes before he began asking the crowd to bring him back on stage. It seems that Prince has lost his touch with the people he is entertaining. He seems more concerned with proving that he is a legendary performer than with giving people their money's worth in his show. Interesting. So sure, the shows were good, but it wasn't worth the money and effort that much of the crowd had gone to in trying to get there. I would say that Prince needs to tone down the lights, the moving stage, the stairs, and the philharmonic dick guitar, and concentrate on giving people just his fun show of energetic music and dancing. It was that which made him famous in the first place. Okay, John.
I would say that, to put in context, 1750 and 1984 is 51.98 today. So that makes it, if you're wondering, so 51.98. If you probably bought two, that's over $100 for some tickets. That's a little. So was the show just an hour, or was it an hour and 90 minutes?
I think he said it was an hour and 90 minutes altogether.
Okay, so it was an hour. Then we came back out for the encore, I guess, for purple. That's what I was trying. I couldn't figure out.
It only contained 90 minutes worth of music, including the encore.
Okay, so 90 minutes. So okay, hey, look, I'm not gonna tell nobody what they should expect for when they pay their money. So I wouldn't expect that somebody to say that back then. But again, for me, that was the first concert I ever saw, so I had no expectation on how long it was supposed to be. Right.
I would imagine most people didn't complain, like, still Prince, you're still seeing a fantastic show, but I digress. Other thing I did notice on this ad, this McDonald's ad for breakfast hotcakes, all you can eat 99 cents.
There you go.
What world is this?
And you know what? Them McDonald's pancakes had to grow on me. They were the worst pancakes I had ever had. The McDonald's pancakes. Later in life, they grew on me.
All right, let me catch up where we're at here. All right, so another ad. This is from Tuesday, March 12th. Charlotte News says, sorry, no Prince this time. Sorry, all you diehard fans of Prince and Revolution, but your musical heroes won't be coming to Charlotte anytime soon after all. So, okay. The rock star had planned to appear at the Charlotte Coliseum this spring, honest, but canceled because the building doesn't contain enough seats. Instead, the Prince tour will end before the Charlotte performance. Ooh. We have lost Prince because the building is too small, Coliseum managing director Paul Buck told the Coliseum Auditorium Convention Center Authority on Monday. I can understand that. We will get them back eventually. Seats were a factor and will be a factor. Well, I mean, that's a good problem to have. You're too popular.
Right. I'm too big for Charlotte.
Yeah. I can tell if I'm going backwards or forwards. Okay, so March 13th, before we get to that, I want to make sure we are not skipping.
I think we got a March 11th reading.
Yeah. And hold on with me. My book is all over the place. Okay, so 13th was the Cow Palace. Or excuse me, sorry. Oh, okay, the 14th. I just want to make sure we stop at the 14th because that's something different. So let's read a little bit of this one. The Miami Herald talking about Prince coming to the Orange Bowl. This was
you want to do that one before you read the March 11th?
Did I skip March 11th?
You got a March 11th.
Yeah, I mean, those are just the in my book, it only says the attendance. Does it have like a little paragraph in yours?
March 11th, yeah, on the next page it says,
okay, go ahead. Yeah.
It says so March 11th, Long Beach, California, capacity 1,300 again. Susie Davis quote, as a musician, he was incomparable, and his attitude about the music was so infectious, he demanded that it be infectious. To help cease his boredom, Prince would grab an instrument and start performing, even during the opening act. Quote from Susie Davis: "He could play anything," according to Susie Davis, who recalls Prince contributing during Sheila's set, but not letting the audience in on the secret. This is Susie talking again. Quote: He was doing this thing with us where he would sit in one of the dressing rooms off to the side and have a guitar and vocal mic, and he'd play along with us and not be visible to anyone. You could hear him in your monitors. He just play guitar or sing whatever he wanted just for fun. Wow. I think he was just using the live shows as a way just to improvise and jam. He was just playful. He just make up whatever he wanted to do. I remember sometimes hearing what he was playing and being like, that's not how we rehearsed the song. That happened a bunch of times over the course of the Purple Rain tour, end quote.
Wow. That's a great addition to the book.
Yeah. And that's a testament. And I know we've said it before. If you find something you love, you'll never work. Because the thing, because in a sense, you know what he's doing, Brother Dean? That's Brother Dean coming up the C. Lee shift and working doing C. Lee shift just because Brother Dean love to work so much.
Just because I love it.
You in the storeroom packing boxes with Brother C. Lee just because you like packing boxes, brother.
Lord. No, but that's actually dope. I mean, the fact that he can do that from the dressing room and skilled enough to be jamming and playing right along. I mean, man, who does that? Like, that's not something, that's not a normal thing that artists do, man. So incredible. Thank you for adding that for sure. Let's read this article real quick, and then we're going to get to March 14th. Prince coming to the Orange Bowl. It says Prince and Revolution, current rulers of the pop world. Man, that's crazy. Will close out their national tour April 7th at Miami's Orange Bowl. Up to 70,000 tickets will be made available for the 8 p.m. show, which will be opened by Prince's protege, Sheila E., The Glamorous Life. If all tickets are sold, the show will be the largest single concert in Miami history, surpassing the 66,000 for one night of last November's Jackson's engagement. Let's see. Seating in the bowl will be almost identical to that for Jackson's concerts, with approximately 9,000 seats located in the field and the remainder in the stands. According to the Orange Bowl manager, Walter Golby, the field will be protected by the same combination of geotextile material and plywood used for the Jacksons. Golby said the Miami Dolphins have approved the concert. At a Wednesday afternoon press conference, Miami Commissioner J.L. Plummer presented a document signed by Mayor Maurice Furr proclaiming April 7th Purple Bowl Day. Wow. I mean, man, it was like when Prince came to your area, that was a big deal. Like, just all the people that he was amassing to come and witness his music. 70,000 possible seats. I mean, that's just a huge audience. I can't imagine. Does he even like think about that? Like, I'm sure he does, like the magnitude of the influence. Like, he's always been working on a show, the rehearsals, and this is one of those moments where, like, yeah, we're about to be in front of a mass amount of people, man. Everything is on point. All the hard work is paying off. That's fantastic, man. And I forget, how old was Prince during this time? It's like 20 something.
Yeah.
Remembers in the chat. Very young. Still very young. All right. So in here on the page, it says March 12th, Rough Don't Want to Stop. In the book, it's listed as Thursday, March 14th. And I'll start reading a little bit of this here. Rough, also listed as Tough, Too Tough and Too Rough. Vocal overdubs mix. I Don't Want to Stop. Listen, possible mix. Sunset Sound, Studio One, likely. Unknown start time.
Them sound like Roger songs.
Producer Prince, artist The Family / Jill Jones, engineers Peggy Mack, Leonard, and Susan Rogers. Quote from St. Paul: Imagine a guy who has limitless energy, talent, resources, drive, stamina, vision, recognizes and develops, recruits talent, and is incredibly successful at it. That was Prince. Wow. Limitless, limitless energy, talent, resources, the drive, stamina, vision. I love he says recruits talent. The tour traveled across the country to Nassau, New York for its East Coast leg of the tour. But Prince stayed behind in Los Angeles to work at Sunset Sound, looking for music for the family, which was scheduled to be another of his upcoming protege acts. Prince enjoyed surrounding himself with people who were committed to him, and it is apparent that loyalty and devotion made him happy. When Morris Day left Prince's first protege act, the time collapsed. Instead of abandoning the remaining people, Prince rewarded their loyalty by forming a new group, the Family, moving St. Paul Peterson from keyboard player to the band's frontman. Jellybean Johnson continued as the drummer, and Purple Rain's star, Jerome Benton, the hype man and Morris's onstage valet, was placed in the same position in the new group. The first assembly of the Family's debut album had been compiled, but Prince continued to look for new tracks in case he felt something worked in context with the other songs. The two songs that Prince recorded on during this session were both 16-track recordings from his home studio sessions dating back to 1980. Rough was originally recorded with Prince on vocals, but the song featured, this is interesting, the song featured Alexander O'Neal's lead vocals, conceivably from when he was being groomed as the front man for the band that became The Time. Hold up.
Yeah, because the way that story is told, Alexander, because see, Xander gonna need a new state, and Xander gonna need a house, and Xander gonna need a car. So Prince, when you get together and get Xander a car and a house, but I'm gonna finish my state till Prince can come up with Xander some more money. So I always thought that from that meeting, nothing happened.
Right. I guess maybe they had already cut some stuff before that. And you always got to remember too, when we hear these stories like that, they'd be buttering them up, and they weren't told in the sense of like, I want to make sure this is the accurate chain of events and what led into this. So there's probably a lot that
were
left out of these things. Because now I'm like, wow, they have sessions with Alex on. God, what a Prince, early Prince with some Alex on it. That's crazy.
And I just like to say, I get to make fun of Xander because he is Natchez, Mississippi's own Alexander O'Neal. You have to understand. You have to say. So from now on in the chat, you can't just say Alexander. You got to say Natchez, Mississippi's own Alexander. You know, Alexander was also a highly recruited player.
You say football player?
Yeah, he was in high school. He was a highly recruited football player.
I didn't know that. Looking at him now, I could see that.
Yeah, that's big dude. So anyway, go ahead.
And I was saying SM 130. I need more paper.
That's right. Daddy gonna need more paper.
And I'm not mad at Alex for saying that. I mean, I get it, but man, I would love to hear that. Whoa, that would be very interesting. I Don't Want to Stop was given to Ron Woods, who re-recorded the track for his As Is album. Okay, I don't know what that album was about, but a title like that.
That Rolling Stone, Ron Woods?
I guess.
Okay.
Unless it's some Ron Woods from the street. Ass is, the ass is popping. I don't know. But after the initial printing, Prince decided to pull the song from her project. I guess that was a lady, Ren Woods, excuse me, R-E-N, Ren Woods.
Okay.
Man, that would be a cold move for Prince to pull the song off of your record. God damn. I would love to know what
I was reading Run, but it's Ren. Appreciate that, everybody.
Yeah, my bad. Shout out to MC Ren. All right. Prince was likely reviewing the tracks for possible inclusion on the upcoming Family album, but he wasn't auditioning the songs for the band. As with almost every project, he would be the one who would listen and decide if the song was appropriate. It's a quote here. At the time, you've got to understand, he wasn't asking my opinion, explains Peterson. I was an employee. That's what it was. It was not a collaborative thing. I totally understand that now. On this date, Prince may have overdubbed his own lead vocal, likely changing the title of the song from Too Rough to Rough. Status. The songs were not included on the Family album, but Paul and Susanna Melville reportedly added their vocals to Rough. 5 minutes and 35 seconds and the 6-minute I Don't Want to Stop on a later date. Both were also early candidates for Geo Jones's album, but they were removed and remain unreleased. Note, it is possible that some of this work was done on the previous day. And I have to ask because I don't remember, has any of these songs that even leaked to like sort of the,
These I don't know.
Okay. Wow. Well, I will say I would love to hear the version of Rough with Alex.
So, and somebody put in the chat, appreciate y'all in the chat because we always love what y'all do. Ren Woods from Car Wash.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Cool. All right. Well, man, I would love to hear those tracks. So we had three live appearances this week total. I don't know where these dates seem really off. February 28th. I thought we've already talked about that, so I'm not sure why that jumped in here. Sorry. 44 live shows total. I guess we're sort of wrapping this thing up here a little bit. And here's all the live shows from January 1st through January 17. Wow. My man was working.
Someone said the Ren Woods. Are you saying the Ren Woods version of that song is on YouTube?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess it is.
Swan. I don't want to mess up the first name.
We got to do
so it's a disco track. Okay. All right, cool.
Okay. So we had 10 new songs total, 19 studio sessions total. Here's all the songs tracked so far in 85. All right. Before we jump into this, man, any other comments, things you want to talk about in terms of what we read this week?
Yeah, again, just that it was enlightening that Prince loved what he did so much that he couldn't help himself. Because you would think that with everything that he was doing, most people are like, I'm gonna take a break, I'm gonna go rest, I'm gonna lay down. For those of you who've been on any kind of tour, I've been on a couple of literary tours and poetry tours, and I'm not a performer, so this was like a very narrow time in my life. Like I only really did performative poetry for about 3 or 4 years, but like I remember being on those things, and I would be one because I just loved it so much that I would watch all the other poets, but most of the poets didn't do that. Like they didn't watch everybody else, and so I can only imagine if I was sitting there reading with somebody or jumping on reading with every poet plus doing what I was doing, and so to me that's just another testament to not only was Prince great, but part of his greatness was he found the thing that loved him, and so for me. Mm-hmm. As I try to tell my grandson now, and I try to tell the young people that I meet, man, go for what you love and the money will come, right? If you fully throw yourself into what you love, you will get some kind of success and reward for it. So to me, that's what that meant to me. I set up.
Right on. I went on one tour and it was work for me. It was work.
So you weren't doing other people's jobs, huh? You weren't.
No, but it was just, and I went they were my friends too, but it quickly turned into a butting of head. Not with me, but niggas fighting and arguing. I was ready to go home.
Well, look, that's the other part of it. Touring with somebody or working with somebody, let you know who your real friends are.
Very true.
Especially if you're on the road with somebody. So
very true.
Many a relationship has been torn apart by a road trip or a tour.
Yeah, you definitely will bond for sure. But yeah, for the first time, you think it's going to be, I mean, I wasn't on some big giant tour either, but I didn't know what to expect, but I soon realized, yeah, this is work, you know, it's probably more work than you would imagine thinking it would be. And you can't really relax because you got to get up early and get on the road for the next city, right? You can't barely stop to enjoy anything. Anyway.
Yeah, I like what Lee Christian put in the chat. That's like I said, you know, there's so many things going on when you're on tour that you do have other things you have to take care of. So yeah, I mean that's for stuff, you know, and I know we're a little bit older, but hey man, those are things that young folk need to know about going on tour. It's traveling with somebody is different. Let's put it this way. Seeing somebody every damn day is different than seeing them once a week. That's all I'm gonna say.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm not going to even talk about the temptations. But anyway, all right. Purple World. Salute to Dr. Funkenberry, continuing getting through his cancer. And we want to continue to contribute to his GoFundMe. And I saw he had put up a post the other day. It looked like he's getting better and doing his thing, but we're gonna keep you in our hearts and minds for sure. Love that dude. Again, my brother Troy, you know what I'm saying? Same thing. He's doing his thing, man, getting through this cancer. Salute to him and his wife. Man, just keep pushing. And of course, we have the playlist that D'Angela so expertly puts together. And there's always a lot of good stuff on here. I see some jams on here like that the coffee soundtrack, Roy Ayers. That's one of my joints right there.
Yeah, shout out to Roy Ayers.
Yeah, Roy Ayers. And we were kind of talking about this before we went live. Roy Ayers, Angie Stone, Roberta Flack. I know I'm forgetting some, but one of the points is that let's not forget our heroes. Let's not forget our artists. Let's always show them some love. We're not going to forget about Angie Stone. We're not forgetting about Roy Ayers. But even more importantly, we're going to continue to show these people some love while they're here and listen to their works or go to their shows or whatever it is. And salute to what's my old girl from In Vogue. You know, she came out with that video, Dawn.
Yeah.
You know, with her situation of being in the car, living in the car and all that kind of stuff. You know, as times have changed with the technology and different things in the music business and just art in general, it's even more easier for people to sort of get kind of left behind, I guess.
Right.
But we're not going to leave them behind. And yes, and how could I forget Duane Wiggins?
I had something I wanted to say. My wife reminded me I actually have a Duane Wiggins story, and I did not know I had a Duane Wiggins story.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So that we used to have this thing here in Mississippi called Jubilee Jam, and it was basically it was a festival, and Tony played the festival. So there are two things that came out of this, and this was back in the day. Let's say this back in the day when your boy still had his perm, right? So I still saw, and there was a poetry venue as a part of this festival. So I was part of the poetry venue. So we was kind of, you know, like in festivals, there's the center thing, and then you kind of walking around. So one of my boys, who was also a poet, was also the sound engineer for a lot of the stages. This was when I learned that backstage is the worst place to be for a show. Like it is the most god-awful. But so Tony was getting ready to come up, and we were walking through the back. And so we were coming up the stage, and Duane Wiggins just turns around. He didn't just speak to me. He spoke to me like he had known me for 10 years. He was like, "Hey man, what's up? What's been happening? What's been going down?" And I stopped, I froze. I was like, he must think I'm somebody else. Like I stopped because it was as if he was like, "Hey man, everything been good? You been getting on?" I was like, "Yeah, it's been good."
You're right.
But I had never met him. And my wife made me this. You don't remember? I was like, and when she told me about it, but I think that just goes to you know, like somebody never meets a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
That to me would have been a testament to someone who never met a stranger. Because like I said, unless he had confused me with somebody, he was just as nice and just as like, hey man, so y'all gonna be backstage, and man, we'll go over there and such. Like it was like a really, really interesting experience with this cat who I never met again. And by the way, their show was great. I just hated it because I was backstage. Like they was jamming.
Oh, right. Okay.
But that's also when I learned. I know a lot of people like being backstage. I don't know if it's for the status or they really like the workings back there.
Probably.
That was the first and last time I ever did backstage, because backstage sucks. But shout out to Dwayne Wiggins, man, for just somebody he never knew and was just being that open and cool with. So that I wanted to share that.
Love it. Thanks for that. Yeah, man. I never met that brother, but just a big fan. His music. Don't want no baby. The finer thing, whatever. Yeah, he was just a part of growing up, their music. Always played it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and to your point, I would like people in the chat. I was gonna limit to R&B, but I'm gonna phrase it another way. In the chat, you can only if you can only do one. Do at least 3 people in the chat that you love that never got quote mainstream or top 40 success. So think about 1 to 3 people, and if you go up to 5, that's cool. But because it's about what Brother Dean says, it's about loving on people because we love them.
Exactly.
And a lot of times, and as Brother Dean was saying, what we were talking before we came on air was for Angie Stone. I think we should use Angie Stone to redefine how we define success. Because a lot of times we think of success. Yeah, shout out to Chucky Booker and Ben Hunt. Because a lot of times we define success as only top 40 or number one this or this, that, and the other. But when you think about Angie Stone's career, she was there damn near at the beginning of hip hop. Like damn near, she was there at damn near the beginning and went all the way through. And as Brother Dean said, through the D'Angelo things and all of that. So y'all putting some good ones in, but I really do think that Angie Stone should make us redefine success and start, just because somebody had that one big moment and they don't have others, they have a long history of moments, particularly for local and regional artists. All right, I'll shut up. Oh, Colonel Abrams. No, you didn't, Colonel Abrams. No, you didn't drop the Colonel Abrams.
Having some kind of tighter prints or something?
Oh, man.
I feel like I remember hearing something about that. But yeah, salute. Yeah, I mean, there's some, I didn't see like Rashawn Patterson is another one of my favorites. And like, man, he should be like, but that's our hero.
Hey, drop the Colonel Abrams song in there, because I got a song in my mind, but I can't remember if it was a Colonel Abrams song. Drop that Colonel Abrams song in there.
Yeah, Colonel Abrams. Didn't he have like, and did you dress the part, didn't
kind of like, yeah. had that kind of deep kind of, not really a baritone, but a rough alto kind of.
Yeah, man.
I'm
loving. There's some good groups in here. Y'all are bigging up, and that's the thing, man. We can't forget about these are the groups that we love, regardless if they're getting mainstream success and all that. Prince was the same way before he blew up. That was something. That was just what we loved. That we loved Prince. You know what I'm saying? We didn't. He wasn't a part of the mainstream. That was like almost like our secret. At least that's how it looked to me when I was young and I would see my cousin. I didn't know what the hell they was talking about. They was all into it. That was their thing.
Yeah.
And then it just got shared to the world.
I like that Alice Smith, the Lee Christian Brooks. Somebody got Surface there.
What was the song, Surface? It's on tip of my tongue. What was that beat? Yeah. Happy or
only you. Hey, the best part of that song is you coming over? Beautiful baby. Old school black boy. You coming over? Beautiful baby.
Oh man, beautiful. Coming over your house, and that's, I mean, you somebody, is she coming over?
There you
cleaning up.
And that was the
sleeves.
system with "Don't Disturb This Groove," right?
Don't
Hang a
disturb. Yeah,
sign upon the door.
yeah,
Don't disturb this groove. Oh man.
yeah. This group right here, I don't know much about them, but I only got put onto them because Prince was kind of spotlighting them one time, and they
Yeah.
got some dope ass music, man. I love these cats. They got some dope.
Oh, that's you know what? And when
Yeah.
somebody said that, there is a nice document. Well,
Okay.
there's a documentary and a YouTube discussion. I'm gonna try to see how quick can I find it. Oh man, when they put in Highest Coyote, I was thinking about shoot. Oh, if anyone has ever seen, it's a graphic novel by a sister named Reagan Buchanan called "The Secret History of Black Punk." And basically, she's created a graphic novel showing that there were always black bands in the punk movement. And for those of us who know our fellow Prince scholar Scott Woods, go to YouTube and search Scott Woods and Reagan Buchanan, The Secret History of Black Punk. They have a great discussion about her graphic novel and about the black presence in punk music. So yeah, but if you get that graphic novel, The Secret History of Black Punk, and search that discussion between our own Scott Woods and yes, a band called Death. Yes, a band called Death. Yeah, that's part of that doc. Thank you, Sister Kim. It's a great, and I'm gonna be honest, it hit me to a lot of stuff I didn't know, because I like punk, but I was really on the edges of punk. So I did a little new wave, a little romance. I would say that Adamat for me, out of all that, Adamat was the big flag for me, was Adamat. So anyway, yeah.
Interesting. So I will admit, I'm in my mind when I think of punk, I think of like, is it the Sex Pistols? I don't
Yep,
even know.
Sex Pistols. Yep.
But I saw that when I was so young, and it scared me. So in my mind, it's something I haven't really never messed with. Not that I don't like it. It's just that it was like in my mind, I think of Sex Pistols, and then I think of like Mad Max. This is where my head was as a kid, Mad Max and Armageddon or something. And it would scare me. Like, I don't know if that's really, I'm supposed to be in there. But obviously it must be more to it than that. Dr. Claw, you're hilarious. But yeah, a lot of great stuff. Okay, Bad Brains. Okay. And even I will admit, Fishbone, I haven't really dived into Fishbone yet. And I know a lot of people that I love them some Fishbone. So one day I'm gonna discover, I'm gonna get into that. But yeah, man, punk is interesting. Oh, Saul Williams, that brother, man. Remember? Man, I know you know who Saul Williams.
The poet
Yeah.
Saul Williams. Yeah. Look, I knew. I actually. So let me flex. I'm gonna flex just a little bit.
Go ahead.
I knew Saul Williams before he started. Well, before his band became popular. This is one of the highlights of my, I guess, literary career. I actually did and I hate saying show as a poet, but I actually did a reading. And this was who was on the reading. Myself, Saul Williams, and Nikki Giovanni. So I actually got to have a poetry reading with Nikki Giovanni and Saul Williams in of all places, San Antonio, Texas. We was in San Antonio, Texas. Nikki, and in fact, if you have my book, Saul Williams, there's a section in the book that I call Poets Praises for Prince. And so Saul Williams is one of the people I actually interview in the book who talks about Prince as a poet. And he said one of his favorite lines was from Life Could Be So Nice. So one of Saul Williams' favorite Prince lines was "Life Could Be So Nice. What is you play my heart the way you play play not tambourines. What's the line? Play my heart the way you play."
You put me on the spot.
It's not tambourine. What is it? But yeah, that was one of Saul Williams' favorite Prince lines. So yeah. So if anybody got that book, check out what Saul Williams has to say about what Prince. Yeah, that was
Now,
I set up.
but didn't Saul Williams also write the liner notes or the thing inside the Voodoo album? It was a little controversial at the time.
I think so.
It was about Prince.
Yeah. He made made the controversy about Prince. And his movie Slam with Jessica Care Moore. If you haven't seen the movie Slam with there we go. No one plays the clarinet the way you play my heart. Thank you, Kim. That's it. Yeah, life could be so nice. Yeah, that was Saul Williams said that was one of his favorite Prince quotes. Life could be so nice. Thank y'all.
And we're gonna get out of here. I want to end it with this. I don't know if this will be a discussion or not. And it ain't nothing new to the people in this chat because y'all are Prince fans. But Parade, the album, I was just in one of those. It just hit me in I don't know. My mind was in an open to receive it in a certain way. That album, man, I think that if you just look at it in the context of, let me say that there's in my mind, there are periods of Prince. Like there's the first two albums. This is the young guy, R&B, disco vibe. And then Dirty Mind, it shifts into this rebel Prince. And I would say between Dirty Mind and Purple Rain, Around the World in a Day, that's a different Prince. That's when he's, the Rude Boy era. And it just keeps morphing and he becomes, the super, he's kind of getting into that superstar. He's just like, it's the whole thing. But then Around the World in a Day is really just sort of, in my mind, it's just an offshoot, some of the leftoverness, a little bit of that era. You can see that it's kind of shifting a little bit, but sonically it's still in that same thing. Parade is an entirely different Prince. And the upgrade in my mind of the music and the production between that album and everything that came before it is it's not a 180, it's a completely other person. If you just listen to the choices of the music and the instrumentation, ridiculous. Like it is so advanced, and I'm looking at it in the context of R&B and black music. Like, and that's not it's lower than anything else. Like, no, that's at the top echelon. And there's no other, I can't think of an R&B album, black album in that period that is such a contrast and that huge than that album was. Like, it's ridiculous, man. It's so, it's like, I'm like, who made this music? I just think it's fantastic. And I'm a Sign of the Times guy, but without any blueprint for him to know, like, well, what is it like when you just totally abandon everything else and what you're doing works? You know what I'm saying?
It's part of that.
He switches it up. Like it's a wild thing. Go ahead.
Can I give you tech people a homework assignment for that album as we close out? So for the tech people, so this is for Brother Dean and all you tech people, because I have a cousin who was a singer, a little local singer, right? And he would always try to break down what is R&B singing, right? He sang a song, a cappella. So what I want y'all to do, if you can, I need somebody to just get the vocal of Do You Lie? Because one of my arguments is people don't know what an R&B gem that vocal is because of the music. And if we could somehow separate Prince's vocal from the music of Do You Lie, I think people would truly understand what an R&B tour de force performance. I want to be clear what I'm saying. I'm talking strictly about the vocal performance, the vocal delivery of Do You Lie. So for you tech people, find a way to separate the vocal from the music, and I think people will go back to that song and go, damn, that's one hell of an R&B delivery. So please do that. I'm not going to tell you to put it on YouTube because that would be illegal. I'm not going to tell you to put it on YouTube because that would be illegal. So don't do that. But I think more people need to hear that vocal. I'll shut up.
Yeah, it's Man Ray's, would you call Parade an R&B album? I would, among other things, but I think I'm gonna say, to me, Prince is an R&B artist, and I don't say that with no limitations. I don't think that limits him to anything. R&B is all this shit. So to me, it's like what R&B can be, not stretched, but at the highest level of imagination, big budget, when you can just be free, and it's a person who's been playing for years. And so you just sort of hear his evolve and how he evolves, but he's still soaking up everything he's ever heard. And he's maybe got his attentions a little bit to some jazz leanings come a little bit more to the front. But the orchestra, man, I'm talking about, but the piano playing, the elegance and the soulfulness of his piano and the emotion of it. You never heard nothing like that on his records previous to this, where it's just like I said, man. And what you're talking about with the vocals, the daringness for him to layer them vocals like that, to have those rich harmonies, to put his voice even more prominent, have Susanna and Wendy's voices with his. It's incredible, man. And the instrumentation, it's nuts.
Yep.
It's nuts. You know what I'm saying? Life Can Be So Nice is wild.
Yeah.
Dope as hell, mountains. I think too, some of those songs, when I heard them, the way they're mixed, some of the more obvious sort of funk or soul is buried in a lot of stuff. And so if you kind of really have to, listen to the lossless version of it or listen to it on vinyl, some good headphones or good speaker system so you can hear the different parts. Because a song like Mountains is really jamming.
Yep.
It took me a minute to understand that he was jamming on that just because of the way it was mixed. But when the little guitar stuff they're doing is so damn funky, it's ridiculous. Like that song is nuts. So anyway.
And, the good to see brother Edgar Cruz, to Cruz's point, and then later I think Martinaire, and I'm gonna ask you this question in Pig Chat, but I'm riffing on what brother Cruz, his last part, and then Martinaire. What I found about Parade is one of the albums that it sounds as close like itself live as any other album. That is, Parade is an album that, all those other albums, when you hear those songs live, you almost can't hear the studio versions live, and you can't hear the studio versions anymore because the live versions have destroyed the studio version. I find that Parade is one of the albums in which whatever he did live sounds as close to the studio version as any of the other songs on those albums. I'd be interested to see what other people think about that. But those songs seems to get changed, and probably the only I guess exclusion of that would be Kiss, right? Because Kiss kind of changed a lot over time, right?
Yeah, I used to think Kiss is sort of like that is not really a part of it, but now when I listen to it, no, Kiss is just, to me, like Kiss is Jamie Starr, all of them. It's just I'm still here,
right?
And I'll throw this jam on you. Like, don't act like I can't just blow your head off at any moment. And it is dope as hell. I've heard that song so many times, but if you can sort of separate that, you're not even paying attention to it when you listen to it, that's a badass track. Like, it's crazy. The fact, and the story behind it is another thing, but no, Kiss this is just a reminder, like, yo, I'm out here moving in a whole cinematic world and I'm on some other shit, but don't get it twisted. This is still the North Side. I'll still drop them bangers on you. Y'all know what I do. And it's just ridiculous. So we could turn this into a whole Parade cast. You're not.
Well, look at that's what we're gonna get into later, because it is the Parade. Exactly. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get into all of that later. So this is just a preview and a taste test for what we're gonna get into later.
Absolutely. With that said, man, thank you, C. Lee, for joining me here today. Man, you're just a part of the show, just as anybody else. We cannot do it without you. Salute to D'Angela. She is out in, I don't know if she's in LA, but she's definitely in Cali.
Yeah.
I believe it's the Pop conference
Yep.
going on. So
always doing it big.
Yeah, so we want to make sure she's covered and safe out there and having a good time. Thank you to y'all in the chat. I tried to keep up with y'all. I'm not as good as D'Angelo with following along, but we're trying to get it in there. But thank you so much. Man, anything you want to say before we get out here, Celie?
Yeah, before you take us out, there was one like when you said, I like what El Michelle said about new position. Who does a funk fusion using a steel pan? That's that's so new position. Like you said, again, 47. The man produced 47 albums. Not counting his own. And I will say this: Prince's albums. And I don't listen to individual songs. Like I never sit down and say, I want to hear this song. I can't listen to a Prince song without listening to an album. I'm not telling everybody else to do that. I'm not saying that's just me. I'm never going to say, I want to hear this song. I have to hear the whole album. And Prince's albums, maybe other than somebody like Stevie Wonder, Prince's albums to me are like great novels. Whenever I go back and I reread Native Son, I go back and I reread Ralph Ellison's Invisible Man. Whenever I read Margaret Walker's Jubilee, you always find something new, or you go, damn, I forgot how good this was. Prince's albums are some of the few albums that every time I return to it, I either find something new, or I'm reminded, excuse my language, this was the funkiest shit happening at the time. That's it. That's all I got to say.
I love it, man. I'm just getting warmed up, actually. Talk about some Prince. Listen, actually, you know what? We might come back on here a little later today and continue this conversation. And maybe we should just listen to a concert from that period as well. Just sort of vibe and talk our way through it. So yeah, watch your notifications. I'm gonna jump back on a little later today. With that said, can I end it out playing one of my little jams too?
Go ahead.
Let me do that. We're gonna get up out of here. I had stuff playing the whole time, just was muted. Hilarious. All right. We're gonna get out of here. This one's called Kingdom. Did this a long time ago. But thank y'all. We're gonna vibe out to this.
Thank y'all in the chat, man. This is not happening without y'all in the chat. Thank y'all so much.
Let's go.
I don't know if you catch that, but that boom, 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 that's from Walk on the Side of the Street and Don't Talk.
Oh wow, I didn't catch that. Okay.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I like the Sanford and Son. There was also sampling that Sanford and Son.
Absolutely.
They say you can't make music like this.
I was acting like if I could get Prince to play on my song, what it would sound like.
Let's go.
Somebody asked, did you have your noise cancellation on? Do the what?